So this athlete posted up on the Triathlon Forum. He said he's got 4 weeks of training in, no formal background in swimming, no formal coaching. He's 8 weeks out from his first Ironman. It looks like he's doing a pretty good job. Now he says he's about 142, 100 in this video, but having trouble sustaining it over distance. He tends to fall apart in longer sets, and that's not surprising. The only way to get better in swimming is just to swim more and longer, and it takes time. So the one thing we're looking at here is you can see his feet come apart. That's just it's an indication that there's a lot of instability in a stroke. And there's a bunch of different ways to go about this. It doesn't look like, and this is from the breath, he's over rotating to get the breath. It's also a little bit late on that side, so that might be part of the issue too. It's one of those things that he'll need to address, that he'll want to address. But he'll get better with more time in the water, and more consistent training. That's how you build up. That's how you build that resiliency in your stroke and your technique, for distance, is just time in the water. So here we can see that, we'll look at, it just looks like the breath is a little bit late. So there's the hand out, there's the turn, and it just looks like he's getting, anytime you see that arm coming in and almost hitting the face when the face is still trying to get the breath, that's a late breath. So he's going to want to work on the timing a little bit of that, to get that better. Body position is a little bit off. You can see his hips are down. His feet are even lower than that. And this is right at the beginning of warm-up. I'm sure it's a little bit more exaggerated the longer out it goes. So, one of the things that he can try is just this sidearm balance drill. You just get long in the water. You put your arms at your side. Nice, gentle, even, easy kick. You can do it with fins on. And you just try to kind of balance on the water with that core engaged. And then you try to move on to something a little bit more, difficult, but still in that position. Then he could do just a review of the basics. There's this breathing progression drill, where you're just standing there, just focusing on blowing out bubbles, blowing them to the side, then get the timing right. Work on, hey, I'm going to breathe right there, get the breath, make sure that the hips and shoulders are rotating back together, and then try to put it all together by, starting it out, just standing there and then jumping into a swim. But that's kind of what he'd really want to do and look to do. So as always, thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the pool soon.